No word of a lie, as I left the auditorium for this, some old man came up to me and just said, "You look like a young chap. What the bloody hell was that all about?" And honestly, I have no idea. Anna Karenina. Okay, so Anna Karenina is set in the late 19th century, based around a woman named Anna Karenina, evidently, and it's about her being married into quite a rich world, rich lifestyle, rich everything, but then she starts to have an affair and her life kind of spirals downhill from there. Now, I liked the director's work. I think Joe Wright has done some really interesting films with like Atonement, Pride and Prejudice, Hannah, and it feels like from the success of those, he's been able to, by the studios, to go and make his own film and, you know, have some experimental choices with his work. And it kind of ends up in a mixed bag of a film, really. I mean, some of the ideas that he executes works, but some of the other ones that he tries to temper with don't work at all. Now, the film kind of has an interesting style at times. It's kind of shot like it's on a stage, but it's not just a static shot of a stage. He kind of weaves the camera onto the stage and does some interesting shot styles with it. And it's kind of an interesting concept to use, but then the next scene, he'll go outside into an actual open area and shoot, you know, on fields or in an actual house, and not in a set. It's kind of a jarring experience when you go from indoor sets of areas to outdoor sets of areas, and it doesn't quite flow the way that I think he intended. However, the cinematography is beautiful throughout, and I just wish he managed to create a more consistent style as he weaves between the two sets that he decided to choose. Now, Keira Knightley plays Anna Karenina, and as a film called Anna Karenina, you'd expect her to be the most interesting and layered character. But actually, out of the whole cast, and there's quite a large cast, out of all the characters, she's probably the most uninteresting and just unlikable character in the whole film. Her character and the guy she's having an affair with there's just no chemistry, and there's no sense that you want to spend time with these characters, whereas the other characters in the film have a lot more interesting and likeable qualities about them. I mean, there's one character played by Matthew Macfadyen, I think, and his character is quite over the top and theatrical, and it kind of blends with the idea that some of the scenes are played on a stage. But then there's other characters that are just so straight-faced, and it's just a weird combination of having such a character that is so larger than life, and then having a character that's so down-to-earth. However, I will say that Jude Law's performance in this film is fantastic. He manages to just do so much by just saying so little. He manages to keep a calm, controlled voice throughout, and manages to express a lot of emotions just through his eyes, his mouth, and in fact, if he does not get nominated for something by the end of this year, I will be surprised, because his performance in this film was just surprised me. So with these mixed ideas that he does, it's kind of a hard film to engage with. I mean, you've got a central love story which isn't really, you've got no emotional connection to at all, and then you've got varied characters and they're not explored well, and there's some that are more extreme than others, and it's shot outside, and it's shot in studios, and then it just feels so weird. It's like a film that's all style and no substance. There's lots of costumes and sets, but there's no interesting personalities really filling these costumes, and there's just nothing to really sink your teeth into it. But it's got things in it that work amongst all the things that don't. And I think it's worth watching at least once, maybe, you know, a rental or something, but it's just a really strange film. So overall, I'm going to give Anna Karenina a 2.5 out of 5. I didn't hate it, but I just was really emotionally left cold from it, because I just could not get into it all, because it's just such a strange and jarring experience. But you may find it more fluid than I did, but for me, I just felt like it was just a rocky ride. And as usual, if you like this review, you can click subscribe and you can see more.